right? Now, Saturn is, or should I say another word for Christmas, and let's look that up real quick. And all of these meanings, I'm getting them from um, Encyclopedia Britannica so everybody can know. Saturnalia, Roman festival. Saturnalia is the most popular of Roman festivals dedicated to the Roman god Saturn. The festival's influence continues to be felt throughout the Western world. Originally celebrated on December 17th, Saturnalia was extended first to 3 and eventually 7 days. The date has been connected with the winter sowing season, which in modern Italy varies from October to January. Remarkably, like the Greek chronia, chronos, because chronos is father time, which is Saturn. It was the liveliest festival of the year. All work and businesses were suspended. Slaves were given temporary freedom to say and do what they liked, and certain moral restrictions were eased. The streets were infected with a Mardi Gras madness. A mock king was chosen for Saturnalia Princeps. The seasonal greeting to Saturnalia was heard everywhere. Now let's look at Chronos, just so we got all this on point. Chronos, also spelled Kronos or Kronos, in ancient Greek religion, male deity who was worshipped by the pre-Hellenic population of Greece, but probably was not widely worshipped by the Greeks themselves. He was later identified with the Roman god Saturn. Cornelius' functions were connected to agriculture. In Attica, his festival, the Cronia, celebrated the harvest and resembled Saturnalia. In art, he was depicted as an old man holding an implement, probably originally a sickle, the Grim Reaper, Kronos, Father Time, because Father Time eats his children, or Father Time destroys all men. In Greek mythology, Kronos was the son of Uranus, heaven. So when you look at the Greek word for heaven, it's actually Uranus, which is a play on the word Uranus. And when you look in the middle of the word Uranus, you see ANU, which was the name of the Most High,
I
or
know.
Anu, right, was the Most High or the Heavenly One in ancient Mesopotamia in the Sumerian culture, which is where modern day Iraq is. That's why when they went over there in the war, they were stealing all of those artifacts. You hear me? Because a
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
lot of
sir.
these Greek and Roman, a lot of these Greek and Roman stories, all of them come from either Egypt or Sumeria. Okay. Cronus was the son of Uranus and Gaia, which means earth, being the youngest of the 12 Titans. On the advice of his mother, he castrated his father with a harp, thus separating heaven and earth. He now became the king of the Titans and took for his consort his sister Rhea. She bore him Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. all of whom he swallowed, because his own parents had warned that he would be overthrown by his own child. When Zeus was born, however, Rhea hid in Crete and tricked Kronos into swallowing a stone instead. Zeus grew up, forced Kronos to disgorge his brothers and sisters, waged war on Kronos, and was victorious. Now, what these stories are really about, they are really about the cosmic bodies, of course. So when we go and now we start to look at Saturn, why it's so important to understand all the symbolism that goes and is connected to Saturn, what I want to do is show y'all a couple things. So this, okay, boom. Let's see. So, boom, let's go here. Boom. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So whenever you see the cube, this is symbolic of Saturn. So this is what's called a magic cube of 42. And when you take any of these three numbers together, it always ends up as 42. This becomes important to comprehend and understand, because what was done when they Satanists, right? Because the real Satanists are those that took everything that was like this and flipped it on its head, right? So the real Satanists, that's why they made 24 protocols to the learned elders of Zion instead of 42. That makes sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know that in ancient Kemet, there was 42 divine principles of Ma'at, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. So now, when you watch, for instance, this right here, this cube was in the film Immortals, and in the film Immortals, the Titans were placed in the cube. So that was a play on that ancient story that we just read about Kronos swallowing the children, and then Zeus growing up and helping the children become free. It was a play on that story. But interesting, this movie Immortals came out on 11/11/11, or 33 was the date. So that should let everybody know that it was some science in that film. Of course, we know this is the Kaaba Stone in Mecca. You see the Hellraiser movie, the Cube movie. What does that cube remind you of? Huh, sis?
Uh,
Huh? You said something, bro?
Oh.
Ice Cube?
Mhm.
Okay, let me see. All right. Um, so whenever, where is it? Okay, I'm gonna show you this. I just gotta find it. I ain't been through my own book in so long. Here we go. So whenever they show you a movie and they show you the old man with the gray beard, this is supposed to be a representation